They're going to bring the chairs up. I would like to introduce our moderator for this roundtable, who is the project manager of Knowledge Innovation Market. He's the Spanish broker for ESA, for the European Space Agency, as well as a partner of the international project called Space Startup Accelerator. So, I think we are ready. We have the 4 chairs. And a big round of applause once again. His name is Isaac Matamoros. He's our moderator. A round of applause for him, please. And hello.
Hi.
And our 3 speakers, Mr. Makaya, as we just saw, Jesús Sesé, José Mariano López-Urdiales as well. Come take a seat. And we have some questions.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
So, very interesting speech. I took some notes about each of your speech. And the first one is from Jesús. You said that additive technology does not solve the aeronautical sector challenge. In your opinion, of all the 3, what are these challenges that currently not covered by additive manufacturing that could be solved in a short or mid-term?
Vamos a coger la bola de cristal. ¿Y para cuándo pueden estar resueltos? Yo creo que va a depender mucho del nivel de cada uno de esos retos. Realmente, algunos deberían estar muy pronto, otros podremos pensar que nos irán a más allá de 5 años, pero esencialmente todos los que tienen que ver con el tamaño de las piezas, todos los que tienen que ver con la necesidad o la disponibilidad de nuevos materiales, sería bueno que estuvieran no mucho más allá de 2, 3, 4 años.
José?
So the question is the challenges that are not yet doable with 3D printing. I think there are some things that will never be 3D printed, okay? And there is a little bit of hype and exaggeration sometimes because there are components and things that are heterogeneous, okay? So there are some people out there, for instance, that claim that they're going to 3D print a whole rocket with no human intervention, the whole thing. And you know, in aerospace engineering, there are very extreme conditions and requirements. So some things are very hot, some things are very cold, some things have to be very light, some things have to be very, very strong, and so on. And so it just doesn't make any sense to try to 3D print a whole rocket, but sometimes these things are very popular. So I believe that 3D printing has a lot to offer and will offer a lot more, but we have to keep some reason, and not everything is going to be done that way. Particularly, you think of electronics, and electronics are going to be more and more embedded in the systems and part of the structures of the system. So that I still don't see how that happens, that you get all these electronics being made at once.
Okay, you Advenit?
Yes, I think, as you rightfully said, we have to get away beyond the hype, but I think it's getting more and more mature in the aerospace industry. I think we are passing the phase where people see additive as a revolutionary set of technologies which will solve all the problems. And now we are looking into more concrete problems like standardization, like certification. Yeah. So how we can actually agree between all the different actors to define what makes a part acceptable. So that's the next challenge, finding a common agreement on a set of requirements for additively manufactured parts.
Okay. From the speech of Jose from Zero to Infinity, I see that in your presentation an example of your creative, let me say, solution. And I imagine, I'm not sure, tell me if I'm not in the correct way, that for its development, different types of thinking and also of knowledge are working in the development of this kind of solution. So the question is, what are for you the main sectors that could be co-create the new solutions or the new technologies based on the advanced manufacturing for the aeronautical sector?
Yeah, I see. So I think it's quite interesting that now, I mean, originally the space sector was very innovative. Originally, I'm talking about from the 1940s to the 70s. Lots of new materials, new processes, new calculations, methods, software was coming from the space sector. And we all say, we have Velcro, we have titanium, we have all this because of this aerospace sector as a whole. But what's been happening then is that it became very conservative. With the end of the Cold War, now the rule was, if it hasn't flown, you cannot fly it. So there was almost no room, and this has been very bad for the sector. And now we have a new phase in which know-how from other sectors, from the automobile industry, from the material science, from other ways of project management, are coming back into the space sector. But there is some resistance in the space sector to accept these changes because it sounds as risky. And I think only, in general, mostly small companies are the ones that really can embrace this. But to do this, you need to combine in your workforce, in your team, you need to combine profiles that are very knowledgeable in the aerospace sector, but also profiles that come from elsewhere, that comes from banking or from software or from automobile. And it's, in the end, it's people that make the decisions. So you need to create an organization that is welcoming to people with these skills from different places. And that's what allows you to benefit from this influx of new technology from the rest of the industry.
Okay. Advenit?
So to talk about space, I think space is changing. We are experiencing very rapid changes. We have private companies, we have what we call new space coming in, which are much more innovative, much bolder in terms of trying new technologies, which want to make things faster, cheaper, and so on. It's changing also because we shift towards, in telecommunication, a large constellation of satellites. So we go from customized small sets of satellites to series production. So we have to adapt to that. And also another change is the move towards exploration beyond the International Space Station, going to the moon, going to Mars, longer missions, which means we have to maintain the crew for a longer time. So all this changing makes so that experience from other sectors become very relevant for us. The automotive sector for large production, series production, the healthcare sector for longer exploration missions. We are looking into 3D printing of organs, for example, now. And in the end, additive manufacturing is a digital technology. So things like what's happening with the Industry 4.0, Internet of Things, blockchains, all that will promote the advancement of additive manufacturing for space.
Okay. And for your companies?
Bueno, nosotros pensamos que además de los sectores y de las actividades que se han mencionado, pensamos que el sector de la energía va a ser uno de los sectores que más se beneficien del desarrollo de la tecnología aditiva. Y luego, probablemente, y más que como sector, como actividad, todo lo que tenga que ver en general con reparaciones, ¿no? La posibilidad de que puedes fabricar casi en cualquier cosa, casi en cualquier sitio. Incluso aunque no tengas los planos originales de la pieza, ¿no? Porque la puedas, a través de ingeniería inversa, escanearla y ponerla dentro de la máquina. Probablemente sean junto pues, con el desarrollo de actividades de 4.0, los sectores o las actividades donde más creemos que puede desarrollarse.
Okay, so the last one is related about the two final answers. Is Advenit has explained us some of the current technologies developed on additive manufacturing, and my question was, which of them do you consider that will be transferred to to other sectors in the midterm? For example, I see some in constructions, or and what must be happen in order that it will be a reality, not in the
Yes.
space, but in the air.
Yes. Yeah, that's a problematic that we are constantly looking at the agency, how to transfer back the technologies from space to something useful for terrestrial life. So to take your example, in additive for exploration, we are looking into harnessing the local materials, everything you have available around you in order to build things. So this has direct implications in the building industry. For example, in construction is areas where you can difficultly reach, disaster relief areas and so on. And even for improving the efficiency of construction methods, less waste, less energy. Other examples include, now we are trying to see if we can extract metals or make solar panels out of lunar dust. This has direct implication on how we can more efficiently extract metals for the mineral industry on Earth. So it's about sustainability, it's about efficiency of processes. And in order for that to happen, I think there needs to be an exchange between us, our objectives for space exploration, and the terrestrial actors.
Okay. Yeah.
Buena pregunta. El día que se abre un telediario con la noticia de que un deportista famoso o un actor famoso o alguien conocido ha podido recuperar su actividad gracias a que la fabricación aditiva le ha dado alguna facilidad, puede ser médica, puede ser porque le ha resuelto algún problema técnico, la sociedad demandará la tecnología aditiva a todos los poderes públicos y a toda la sociedad. Y ese día todos los sectores demandarán y pedirán o querrán utilizar los beneficios que la tecnología aditiva ofrece, gracias a que hay organizaciones y empresas de sectores punteros e innovadores que son los que se están batiendo el cobre para garantizar que eso algún día sea verdad.
Okay. And finally, José, I don't know if you have something to about the question. If you have an answer, or do you think that more or less?
Yeah, I don't have
They,
it.
okay. So I don't know if some from the public has any question. We have 5 minutes more. Nobody is interesting.
Come on.
Okay, so let's finish about a final question. If we think in 1 year to be here again, what are your wishes about the development of new technologies on the space sector by additive manufacturing? What do you want, or what do you wish to explain here?
Bueno, a mí me gustaría decir que dentro de un año tendremos ya nuestra pieza de vuelo y alguna más. Y me gustaría decir sobre todo que hemos sido capaces de encontrar formas de utilizar nuevos materiales y nuevos tamaños. Para nosotros eso sería una gran noticia que compartir con el resto.
So if I was to make a wish for the industry, I would like to see more color printing, not just monochrome. By that I mean printing several materials at once. So instead of having these made of just aluminum, let's say we could have some parts made of copper and some parts made of Inconel, or even more materials added to the mix. So having versatile 3D printing of a multitude of materials in one single piece would be a really good improvement, and we would love to hear that. I mean, we've seen some papers, we've seen some people doing small samples in the lab. It looks very promising, but hopefully by next year we'll have functional multi-material 3D printing in metal.
Okay.
And from my side, I would like to see more and more parts which have actually flown, which have actually been used in real life, which demonstrate that additive manufacturing is moving from the drawing board, the laboratory, to our daily life.
Okay, so thank you to be here, and also a big applause for the speakers. And let's finish. Thank you.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Thank you very much to all the speakers, to our moderator as well. Very interesting. And everyone stay tight. In about 5 minutes, we will begin our automotive journey. So we'll see you back here in about 5 minutes. Thank you very much.